So, hello everyone. We are back with our Bluecast podcast. And for our conversation of today, we have a very special guest, which is Anabel Rendon. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Anabel. I'm come from Spain.
Mm-hmm.
I work for Blue in the office that we have in Spain. I'm head of marketing for the group. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Amazing. So that's all, folks. Just kidding. So just for you to have an idea, the reason why this conversation that we're going to have today is so special is because maybe you already follow us for a very long time. You know that we have more than 70 episodes, but the main thing is that you probably don't have an idea of the dimension that Blue has. So Blue is a digital marketing company based on technology, and we are present in more than 50 countries, and we have three different offices around the world. So we are based in São Paulo, which is the office we are currently speaking from. And we also have an office in Argentina and Spain, which Anabel came from. And the reason why it's important to mention that, it's because we came with Blue for 7 years maybe, and we just ran into a process of an M&A, actually, an M&A process. So we made a fusion with the group with lots of other companies from our market, and we are now bigger than ever. So this is the reason why we have Anabel with us today. She's the head of marketing from our office in Spain. And not only that, we are going through a new phase of the company, which is merging the marketing that we have. So I would like to listen from Anabel this experience on what we're going to have of our marketing from now on.
Wow, that's a really broad question. To be honest, I think that the first thing to mention is how now all the offices are going to be more connected, meaning that because of that, we're going to have a unified force to go global. This means that we're going to have specialists from Brazil, specialists from Argentina, specialists from Spain, and from all over the world that are going to be working on all the different markets. This is going to help a lot more to understand the needs of each market. Because, for example, for me as a Spanish born and raised, I don't really know the Brazilian market. While my colleague from Brazil might not know from the European market that I'm a little bit more specialized in. So I think that this unification and this moving forward is going to help Blue to be more accessible for everyone and more presence in all of the markets.
That's an amazing question. That's actually an amazing answer to the question that was made, because for those who have no idea, we were basically two different companies. So this is the fun thing. I mean, we were based in Brazil. We were also based in Spain, and everything around these two bases, these two headquarters, the marketing, the processes, they were all different. And now we are merging everything together so we can have like one very big Blue world. So this is what triggers me. Like, I'm very thrilled to be part of it because the challenges are very big. Like the culture, as you mentioned, we are present in more than 50 countries with clients and campaigns running, and each of the markets we're in, they treat us on a different way. So the way you guys handle things in Spain is very different than the way we handle clients here. The clients in Latin America, they want to speak to us like every single day. And whenever I got the chance to speak to you guys over there, it's different. You have some campaigns where the clients accesses you more, and you have like a load of campaigns where the clients, they don't even know that you're there. Like, we're here to support, but we don't want to talk to you. So the way we access these entities, they're very different.
Completely right. And also on top of that, like something that for me has been really curious since the day that I started working in Blue was when I started to get to know a little bit more of the office in Brazil and also like the office in Marbella. the way for us to approach companies on a B2B way, it's more through like a specialized social media. So like, for example, LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
While here I started to learn that there was a lot of like more use of Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
which for us is more B2C.
Okay.
So that was something that for me was shocking. But then when I started speaking with you guys, I started to learn that there's a lot of clients that really get into social media and Instagram that really works. And for me, that was at the beginning, it was a little bit shocking because for me, coming from Europe, like no client will looking into Instagram. While here, it's completely the opposite. So it was really fascinating because it's cool to see how we are not that much different in culture, but at the same time, the way of doing things is quite different.
And I think that it's because maybe European sees Instagram or like something more intimate. So you won't have someone prospecting you from an intimate perspective. So you would
Exactly.
have your friends as friends in Instagram, not to speak about business.
Exactly.
While here, we usually use our social media to show what we do. So you can be prospective there because you want to show to people on your social media that you're working, you're give a speech, you're on an event or something. And then it's kind of normal for people to reach you out through Instagram. So yeah, it's a very interesting thing. But for us to begin on a different path, I would like to listen from you. What are you thinking about Brazil? Because I knew that it's your first time here. So it's not only about getting our processes and everything regarding blue, but regarding Brazilian culture in a whole. So how have it been?
Amazing. Amazing. Like, I have loved your culture, like how everybody's so welcoming, so nice. Everybody wants you to get to know what is Brazil, what it means. And the food, oh my God.
Lots of food, right?
Yes, lots of food, but really good food. It's really rare for me. When I travel, I always say that like Spanish food, nothing is similar. But here, I really like the food. I really enjoy it. But it's true that it's really big quantity. So that's something that I have really like. And also on top of that, like the scenery, how the city is, how much green is everywhere. That's something that is not really as strong in Spain, maybe in the north of Spain, but I come from the south, and that like it's really rare to see so much like green parks and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah. Where I
Wow.
come from, we have like the beach that is really close, and within 10 minutes walk, I'm there. But to go and see like green like here, we have some mountains and a little bit of nature, but like how big it is here, no, you don't get that. At least from the middle to the south of Spain. If you go to the north, yes, but
Wow.
it's completely different. And also because here it's kind of like more tropical, like it's
Yeah, it
different.
could be.
But that is something that it was really nice to see of Brazil. And also like how happy everyone is. Like,
Yeah,
that's
that is
really
something that I can't say otherwise.
yeah. So yeah, I will say that is kind of like the three main things that I have really like about Brazil. And the weather. It's really nice as well.
No, it's too hot.
It's
I mean,
hot,
it's summer.
but for me, I like the summer. In Spain, I would say that during the summer we get more or less the same temperature. But right now in Spain, it's winter.
Okay.
So it has been nice to get the change for the few weeks that we are here.
Amazing. And at which temperature you usually get on your winter there?
Winter. I will say that the lowest will be 10 degrees.
10 degrees. Okay. That's very rare for us. I mean, our lowest temperature would go around 15 maybe on very cold days.
Yeah, for us, like south, keep in mind that because if somebody from Spain hear me and I'm saying that is the lowest, no, because if you go to the north, you can get lower temperature.
Wow.
But in the south, where I come from, 10 degrees. Maybe some days that is like really, really, really cold. Maybe it will go down to 5 or 6. But normally it's between 10, 15, 17. Midday will be always like 17, 18.
Okay. I wouldn't say is that different from us. All right. And how about bringing this same question for our blue world? What did you face off whenever you got into our office in here?
Well, as into getting into Brazil, the welcoming, everybody was open arms, the whole team. See how excited we are all to be unified and to move forward to see what is this new blue area going to be. How we're gonna increase and grow the company, because at the end of the day, the objective for this year, in my opinion, is to make the most for Blue and to end up at some point being recognized all worldwide, that we will go wherever and people will know what Blue it is, what is retargeting, which is sometimes hard for people to understand what exactly is. So that will be one of the things. Then also, like, we have been for this past week really working really in depth to see which are the next steps. What should we be doing in marketing? Because, for example, in Europe, we have been really focused on attending events, but we have never had like a booth or done any like marketing activation at events. Now this is being in the talk. There's a chance that we're going to be starting doing these things. So this is going to help to boost a lot of the awareness of what is Blue, how we do things. And I think that is going to help a lot for the visibility, and for also that I think that the market kind of understand what is retargeting, but not in depth. And they cannot really know exactly how Blue does the retargeting, which I think that is completely different from other ones.
Yes.
So I think that doing this, putting these efforts on bringing more awareness, bringing more knowledge to the market, is going to help us to grow and rocket high.
Yes, I think the same. I mean, we are a communicative company. I mean, we do ads. We show ads of everyone else, and we never did it for us. So this is one of the most funny things about that. It's the first time that we got a CMO. It's the first time that we are really taking a very important step, I think, because unifying things, bringing you guys in here and making all of the marketing stuff together, we can produce lots of good things from it. So I think that we will start positioning ourselves in the market in the best way possible through your minds. You have the vision of how to do that in the best way possible. I mean, we are the tech guys, let's say, so we know a lot about the tool, about the platform, about how we do what we do. So that's amazing, I think. How can we merge all of those things into one very big, good communication, which is the biggest challenge, I think.
Yes, because at the end of the day, it's really easy for us to understand what is our product, because we're on a daily basis working with it. Understand it. We have all the specialization people that can explain to us when we have a question. But how do you translate that into a way that every single person will understand? Because not everyone knows the techie words. Not everyone will understand things the same way. So one of the challenges, I think, that is that understanding how can we express in the easiest way how our retargeting solution works. Amazing. Because it's not easy, but we're going to make it.
I'm sure we're going to make it. Maybe not just in 1 year, but we have a few more years to go.
We have many. And I'm sure that it's not gonna be super easy.
Yes.
But we have really good professionals in our team. So for sure we're gonna make it.
That's actually it's what I believe the most. We have a very good people with us. And when we speak about the differences that goes between Spain or the European market and Brazil, what would you highlight of it?
Difference. Maybe I would say that I feel like here the market is more approachable on the way the one-to-one.
Okay.
And while the European market needs more of like, how will I call that? Like a process
Okay.
for reaching that level, maybe here on a one-to-one basis to really connect. Most of the times you will need like a referral or
Okay.
someone that kind of like introduce you, and also having certifications like, for example, IAB that we are part of. It's always giving you more trust for the people, and more like when people don't know who you are and don't understand fully what are you selling and what is your service, people start questioning, and they're not sure or trusting what you are offering, and they're gonna be always like thinking, what is the catch? Because it's true, like our retargeting solution is sometimes too good to be true.
Yes.
So there in Europe, since people are not knowing Blue that well, we need to show, apart from our service and how good it is, we need to show that we are having people having our backs,
Okay.
proving that we're following the rules, that we're following the GDPR, that we are following all the ticks for someone to be willing to go into conversation. So I think that like the process there are maybe longer than what it will be here. But that is my impression.
And when it comes to the process being longer, would you say that we don't actually have access to like decision makers in the beginning? So we need to go through a different process. The decision makers, are they reachable at some point?
I believe they are. It's just that sometimes it's hard to get to the right person.
Okay.
Because each company works differently. Sometimes you will need to be in contact with their marketing manager in order to explain what retargeting is, and he will be the one deciding. But sometimes it's not the marketing manager. Sometimes it's the CMO, or sometimes it's the head of sales, because they have a department that is in charge of that. So sometimes it's hard to prospect who is the right person.
Perfect.
And when you are reaching them online, it's complicated because there are many people from many companies that they will have their inbox full. So that's one way to reach. Then we have the other way, that is the one that I think that is more working better, that is at events. But at events, we're going back to the same thing. You go to an event, you don't know who is the person in the company.
You don't have deep conversation, right? It's just about, I have interest on what you have to sell. And then we can maybe schedule an appointment so we can speak out later.
Exactly. And then a lot of times, like, people will be kind of like, oh, it sounds good. I know that my company is interested in retargeting, but I'm not the right person. Let me get your card, and we will. I will put you in contact with this person that it will be the right person to talk with. But that's why I think process start going a little bit longer to actually reach the right person. But it is proof that going to events related to the industry or to the industries that we work with are helping a lot to increase the awareness and also to increase the contact with clients. And clients like to see you.
Sure.
Often. The more they see you, the more they recognize you, the more willing to more conversations, more open to try, and then the magic happens.
I think that you start building trust, right? Because events is where all of the trustworthy companies are present in. You wouldn't spend money to be on a very big fair to show off your product, your service, your platform if you're not trustworthy. So I think that the most you get to be on those places, you can draw more attention on yourself, and then you can start really being trustworthy in people that first would have like a second thought about you. So
Exactly.
I think that is something that we started learning here in Brazil as well. So we also attend to a lot of events in here, and I think that one of the things that I'm really thrilled to see from now on is that I think that most of the fairs that we're going to attend to worldwide will have the same communication, I think,
Yes.
which turns to me as my next question that would be like, it's something that for me really gets my attention to, because here in Brazil, we're speaking about a very big country. I know that one funny thing is that we could split Brazil in different regions, and each of the regions would be the same as the different countries you have around Europe,
Mm-hmm.
because you have like you're made of countries with small territory
Mm-hmm.
in comparison to Brazil. So this is the main question that I wanted to make. Like, you're in Spain, and I know that the way you communicate with Spanish people is in a way, but we are in more than 20, 30 countries just in the same continent. So how hard it is to reach out all of those different markets, and if they have like an European thing, which is something that is similar to all of those markets, or if you have to make it customizable to achieve each different country that you want to go to.
You have to always customize. You can make some, in some sort of like, you can generalize something. Like a common thing that we have in Europe is that pretty much every country, English is kind of like one of the top languages. So most of the population, and mostly in when it comes to corporate and companies, everybody speaks English. So when it comes to the language, you can try to reach by doing all your communications in English. But for my opinion and my experience, I think that it's better to personalize, because even though they might speak English, you resonate with your own language. When you find an ad or you find something that you like, even when like on your personal life, when you are looking for a shop to buy a t-shirt, and now you go into the website and the website is not in your language. You have to, like, for example, for me will be Spanish, and I reach and there's no Spanish. I can find English, Italian, whatever other language, but not mine. Then I might maybe be kind of like, I'm going to look for one that actually have my language. I can understand what it is. I don't have to be using a translator to understand it. So that's one of the things, the language. We have a big variety of language in Europe. So we should be trying as much as we can to personalize the ad. And then the culture is different. It's not the same thing someone from the UK as a Spanish or a French or a German. The culture is super different. The way of approaching, it's really different. What I might consider kind and nice, someone maybe from Germany might consider rude. And you have to be careful with that when you're working and when you're selling, because you need to make sure that the message goes equally for everyone, but in their own way. So, yes, it's complicated, but like as long as you understand each market, you understand the needs of each market and how they like to be approached, then it's easy, because then you just have to make the message align to what each market does.
And I think that I can bring like a blue fact in here. So when I visited you guys 3 years ago, when you were launching your new office in Marbella, one thing that got my attention is that you have all of those nationalities inside the office. So the communication is good because you're attending to different countries with native people from those countries. So you have, this is one very interesting thing. So how many people are you at the office right now?
I believe right now we're 50, if I'm not
50.
mistaken. And don't have like the
the
actual data, but I think that around that.
I mean, we grew a lot. Whenever I went there, I think that you got like 30 people. So it's amazing. So what I mean is that you have people from all of the countries that you want to connect to. So whenever you need to reach out with the proper communication, you have the person who speaks directly to the country on their culture, on the way that the country is gonna receive the communication in the best way possible.
Exactly.
And This is something that we even started doing in here because we started prospecting Latin America back in 22, and now we have people from Latin America in our office. So in order for them to prospect clients in Spanish-speaking countries from Latin America, it's easier because the culture, whatever slang they have, like very particular things from each of the countries, is something that they can communicate better. So we brought that from you guys, from what we learned when we were there. So it's something that we exchange, and it makes us richer in terms of doing our job in the best way possible.
Of course, that for sure. And also, like, having people from almost every country in Europe, it helps that when I'm having doubts, I can just go and talk with them, discuss. And it's really good to also, like, not only on the professional way, like when we are just maybe like having lunch and we start talking, it's really nice to have that culture in the office, because it makes you personally richer by learning a lot about different countries without needing to even travel to it. And I think that for me was some of the things that caught my eye when I was searching for jobs, and I ended up applying for Blue. See?
Good. And so when it comes to processes, like the way we used to do it before this rebrand, let's say that we are making something new that will start now in 2025, how would you describe the way we used to work before, like with two different offices? And even though we didn't have that much integration on our communication, and I think that this is the reason why we decided to change in order to be more effective.
You just have said it there. Like, it was good, was not bad. We have managed both sides to create a great brand that is working, that people are starting to learn about us and they're liking. When people get to know what Blue does and how we do it, they like the product. The only thing that we were missing, it was that connection. Because I believe that by working each other on their own and not really communicating, we were missing a lot. Like for me, these 2 weeks here, being able to speak with the team here, it's making me learn a lot, because you guys have tried things that here in Europe we haven't tried yet. So I'm getting a lot of feedback from what you guys have already tried that is going to help me to don't make, maybe not call it mistakes, but like you have tried things that you have seen works or not work. It doesn't work for Blue. Now we're moving to this. So now I know that that doesn't work for Blue, and I can bring it to the office and actually see, because another thing that I have to take into account there is that the market here is different from Europe. But I can see if I want to try or not try, and see already what you have brought back from that. And the same way from things that we have tried, pass it to you, or like a process of how we work, the CRM system, how we use it, how you guys use it. So I think that we were missing that connection to make Blue a really, really strong brand for the market. Because now, for example, it has happened to me sometimes that I have been at an event and there has been clients reaching me, oh, we also operate in Brazil. And I will be kind of like, oh, we have an office in Brazil. But since we didn't have that connection before, that fluent communication that now it's pretty much daily, I was not really so fast on getting back to that client and saying like, oh, I can put you in contact with, and I was like, with who? I don't know that many people in the office. Now, this new way of approaching, it will be a lot faster to connect people, which I think that it was something that we were missing.
Amazing. And I totally agree with everything you said. I mean, being more connected, we can help each other, like with things that we never even planned on doing. Maybe you already did it and you already have feedback from what it's good and what is not. So we can apply it or something and see if the same things you did there and went well for you guys can go out well with us as well. And likewise. So I think that it's a better thing to do. And speaking about this new moment of the company, these challenges we're gonna face. What can you give us in terms of details about what we have ahead?
What we have ahead, wow, a huge market that we are still needing to study and to see how to approach it. But I think the biggest challenge is what we have been mentioning before. It's how to bring the message to everyone, unified as much as it can be. So we are making sure that for everyone in their top of their mind, Blue is going to be the same brand, the same service. We are not having a different communication in that way. By that, since we are in a world that is already super connected and many companies that we're going to be speaking in Europe, they are going to have offices probably here, offices in the States, offices everywhere. And at the end of the day, those companies are also connected by the different offices. So if we are unifying the message and we have Rafael from Brazil, we have Julia from Spain, and we have, I don't know, Martin from the States, they are in the same company from each offices. They are having a connection because they are from the same exact team. And the three of them are getting the message of blue, 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 blue. How many chances are that they're going to go blue?
And then let me make a silly question. How hard it is to make this connected communication?
Oof.
It's a silly question with a very difficult answer.
Yes, because making a unified message with all the differences of language, culture, it's hard, not impossible. But we need each marketing manager from each side to really work together and unify, do a really well study of each market and come together with the message that we want to bring out. Once that is decided, the rest is start rolling, testing, because probably the first time it's not going to be right. Maybe the second time neither. But if you don't test and you don't see where you're making mistakes, you're never going to succeed. So I think that that will be kind of like the way to reply your question. But
Yes,
I think that is a really, as you said, silly question, but it's really complicated to reply because you need a lot of points to gather to be able to make that communication working. So I think that is something that we need to really take into account for this year.
And I think that this is the reason why lots of companies, they don't know how to position themselves in the market, because they also attend to several different countries, several different cultures. And whenever it comes to it, I think like you need to have something in general that would fit worldwide, let's say, but each of the markets, just as you said before, that you do when you're prospecting clients in Europe with several different countries, you need to have something customizable for that specific country, for that specific culture, in order to get it better, in order to connect with it. So that what comes to be the hardest part of the job, I think, because you marketing, you would be all connected with the country managers and stuff, but even though each of the country managers bringing insights of what works on their communication that may be something local but could be reproduced somewhere else with similarities and stuff. So it's something that is very big, right?
Yeah, that is like the tricky part of it. But I think that like as long as we are moving forward as we are right now, unified, we are having a constant communication, and we are able to bring all the ideas from each side to the table, put it together, and kind of like in a shaker, you shake it, you mix it, you throw away what is the rest, and you just leave the good part.
Exactly.
So that's what we need to be doing for this year coming forward. Start to narrow that funnel that will end up in the top.
And what Anabel thinks of your role in all that?
Wow, that I have a big challenge ahead, which I'm really excited about. It's really nice to be in a company that is growing, because then you're growing with it. And it's knowing that imagine right now how much I'm going to learn this year and how much I learned since I started in Blue, because I came not knowing what was retargeting. I had an idea because I studied marketing, so I had a brief idea, but I remember that my first 2-3 months, I was like, I don't know what is this. I don't know what we are doing. I really need to get ahead and start understanding it, because otherwise I'm out. So it took me time, but when I started understanding it, I was like, wow, this is huge. And this can really mean a big boom at some point. And the boom is starting. So now me being head of marketing for Blue is a huge challenge, because now we have a growth aim that is quite big, but being able to participate in it and be part of it, that is amazing. Be part of a company that is growing so much and that is going to be able to have the challenge to bring it to the market in that way. For me, it's amazing. Like I'm really excited to see what 2025 is going to bring to Blue and to me in a professional and personal way. Because not everyone gets the chance to live this change, and also working in a really multicultural company. Because in Spain, it's really rare for you being in Malaga, where we are, in Marbella. It's a really small town. It's really rare to be working for a company that is so global as Blue. So that is a really huge chance, because those chances are in Madrid or Barcelona, which are the big cities for big companies. But being able to do that while living in one of the best cities for me in Spain, it's amazing. And also getting the chance to improve my skills in marketing, because I still have a lot to learn ahead. So
you brought out something that I would like to explore a little bit deeper, which is the life in Marbella. I mean, I know that we were discussing about the future of the company and your role in it, and everything that you brought. I think it's amazing, and it's even more amazing to live that with people like you, because as we just mentioned a little bit earlier, we have very good people with us, and the experiences that we share, I think it makes us grow even better. So the fact that you're in Brazil, and another Blue fact is that we met each other like 2 years ago, 1.5 years maybe, in London. I got the chance to be on a very good event at London, and it was when we first met.
yeah.
So it was one opportunity that I had to go to London. I mean, you were already a little bit more close to London than I was, but that's fine. And I mean, we have the chance to travel around, to meet different cultures and do different things. But when it comes to a life in Marbella, how is it to live in there? And the reason why I ask that is because whenever someone Googles out Marbella, they're going to see that it's a very beautiful town, a very cozy town with good food and stuff, good places to go, beaches. So how is it to live in there? And also in a more personal perspective, like jobs, like growing and being raised in Marbella.
Well, let's start with that. I am not from Malaga, which is where Marbella is located.
Okay.
I come from another area that is like 3 hours by car from Malaga. So Malaga in Spain, it's kind of like a really boosting city that is starting to grow a lot in tech. Google, Facebook are putting offices there now. So it's starting to grow a lot in this market. So it's really great to see that where I'm living is starting to have so many job opportunities, and also apart that there are job opportunities, that means that a lot of people from the industry are coming. And for example, in Malaga, we have now a digital marketing group with experts of all of the companies that are coming. So it's really good because we gather, we talk about things that we're doing, how we're doing. If somebody is really specialized, I don't know, like in doing newsletters or pay media or how they boost they can share their ideas, we share ideas. So it's kind of like a really good community there. And the more the city is growing in that sense, the more people are coming. And Marbella, which is what you asked me, is a really small town, but it's giving a really international vibe because there's many people from all Europe coming there, even outside of Europe. So the vibe is really multicultural.
Interesting.
You are walking in the streets and you can hear more people speaking in English than Spanish. So it's really interesting. The life there is really fun. Like we have during the summer, you always have like to go to the beach clubs, really good restaurants. And a lot of people come there for the party because we are known as Spanish as good party people.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really nice to be able to be living so close also from my hometown because before that I was living in Madrid, which is completely different. Like it's more fast paced. You don't really have time for personal life. While in Marbella, you can get the great balance. Good job, plus good personal life. So that for me is the top.
I would say that São Paulo is closest to Madrid, and it's like a very big city. People live very far from their jobs. You spend most of the day on a public transportation and stuff.
Yeah, when I was in Madrid, I used to take 1 hour in the subway plus maybe 30 minutes walk to the office.
Wow. When I came back to São Paulo in 2012, I think, I used to live in one of the latest neighborhoods in the south region of São Paulo, and I used to work in downtown, in the center of the city. It took me like 2 hours and a half to get there. It was so far away.
Wow.
So I used to spend 4 hours of my day on a train or in a bus.
Wow.
And then it turns out that it's something good, actually. I can like give a motivational speech of it because I planted a very important goal in my life. Like I want to earn a lot of money to live close to where I work. And I did it. So this is something that it's bad at some point when you're living in because I lived very far from my job. I was at college, so I had to go to my college. I would reach home like I would arrive at home like 1 a.m. noon, midnight or something like it, and you would have to be up like 5 a.m. on the next day. So it's something that really turns out like I really need to work a lot. Grow in life so I can live close by the office and have a good personal life, which is something that years later I could get there. So it's something that you have different visions.
It reminds me of my life in Madrid as well, because I was also in college. So I was having to work in the mornings, classes in the evening, night, and I would leave my house 7 o'clock in the morning and I will come back 11 at night.
Yeah, same
so
thing.
It was tough, and also like the weekends was the time that I had to do my school projects and try to get some sort of personal
balance.
life. And now I live 10 minutes away by car from the office, so big improvement.
Yes, it is. And one other thing that I would like to ask is you have Marbella and then you have San Pedro.
Yes.
San Pedro
De Alcántara.
de Alcántara. They are different towns.
Yes.
That belongs to Malaga region.
Well, Marbella belongs to Malaga region, and San Pedro de Alcántara is part also of Marbella because it's let's say that it's kind of like the town hall, if I can call it like that. To explain it to you, it's directed by the one in Marbella.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like it falls into it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's two small towns that are part of Malaga, which is the main city. And it's kind of like the province. We divided by provinces.
Okay.
And we are part of like, we have like different provinces within a community.
Mm-hmm.
We're part of Andalusia,
Mm-hmm.
which in there we have Cádiz, Málaga, Granada, Almería, Sevilla.
Mm-hmm.
And within Malaga, you have Marbella and San Pedro.
Interesting. I didn't know all that. I used to run around all of those places by car when I got there, but I didn't know that they all belong to the same big community, let's say.
Yeah.
Interesting. So when we, if I get to ask, your personal goals
Mm-hmm.
and Blue's new face on marketing, how would that merge? That is a very personal question, though.
How will that merge? Well, to be honest, one of my personal goals was always to be manager of a team.
Amazing.
So Blue has helped me reach one of those goals that I had. So for me right now, my personal goals and professional goals are quite aligned.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I have other personal goals like, I don't know, get married, have kids.
Sure.
But right now my focus is more on my professional life. And it's really aligned with my professional right now because having Blue growing this much is gonna help me reaching those goals of being the best in digital marketing, being the best at doing analysis, being the best at creating strategies, which has been always something that it has fascinated me about marketing. And personally, I have always wanted to, like, I'm always studying and trying to learn everything that comes new. Like right now, I'm really into AI. I want to learn how to use the tools that are coming because I think that are going to be really helpful
Sure.
for my professional life as well.
Yes.
So that's what I'm trying to see. It's like it's really balanced in that sense. And it's something kind of like my Anabel professional and my Anabel personal are really holding hands together right now and saying like the goal, it's right there. We just need to push because we're getting there.
That's amazing. I think that's the best thing, actually, because if they're both aligned, then you're going to be the best version of yourself every single day to put both things out together.
Trying to.
Yeah, I know it's hard. What are you going to make it?
Let's see.
Good. And do you have any kind of questions that you would like to make, like from our Brazilian perspective on everything you've been discussing so far? So just for the people to know, she is around for 2 weeks, and basically they're gathered in one of our meeting rooms together discussing the future of the future of the marketing of our company for these years and the next ones. So
questions. Oof. I have not really thought about that. Maybe I will say that one question regarding like the office here in Sao Paulo. It's kind of like, since you mentioned before, we have been really apart from each other. What do you think that is like the feeling of now having that merging between both sides? Like, what do you think that is the feeling in the office of what that gonna mean? Is people excited? It's people like concerned?
I would say the first option, for sure. The first option. I mean, there's always two ways of seeing things, and if I could say something as one of the heads of the company is, if someone gets concerned, maybe Blue is not for that person. So this is something that I really want to point out. If they're seeing you guys in here, is because they should think that they could be somewhere else, you know? So we have offices all around the world. We have in Argentina, we have in Spain, and now that we are part of a group with several other offices where we can share knowledge between all of us and other companies across the group, I think that they should see it as a very big opportunity.
Which it is.
Which it is, actually. It's an amazing opportunity for all of us. So if they're concerned about that, they shouldn't be here. And I think that they're not going to last much. But I personally think by talking to people that they're seeing it as an opportunity. And I think that they're excited on sharing expertise with you guys, because the same way we're doing now, we're speaking on a podcast, the same way we spend some days together, some dinners, some lunches, the weekend. And it's not only about speaking and exchanging about our professional part, it's about sharing a bit of a life. And this is what I think that cultural speaking, a very big opportunity. And it's a very good way to grow. So if they're seeing you guys in here doing that, it's because they have the opportunity to do the same in one of our other offices. So they really should see that. And I think that they're very excited. At least with the few people that I've spoken to, they're very excited and seeing it as an opportunity. So
Great.
I'm happy, actually. And I'm really talking like excited.
Yes, because it's true. Like, it's, as you say, like, it's an amazing opportunity what we have ahead. Like, not every company gets this chance, and not every employee in their lifetime working gets this chance of being part of such a big thing coming up. So I think that everybody should be really excited, because one way or another is just going to help them grow professionally.
Yes. And even that we are speaking about Blue, and we also have BMS, right? So if we maybe people that watches us for a long time, they know that we have BMS, and the marketing is also merging things. So it's not only about getting the Blue perspective of a unified marketing, but Blue and BMS together as well. So like we kind of call it Blueverse. So we have all of our companies together, all of our marketing together, because the efforts that we're going to put, it could be just one way out, which is skyrocketing the company. So all of the things are aligned, and that's the greatest opportunity ever, because Blue will get bigger with BMS and likewise. So we do have several things happening, right?
Exactly. And also, like, for me, that I have not been really into BMS until like a couple months ago, it's really exciting also to be part of that journey with something that is kind of like starting.
Yes.
Because Blue has been for much longer, but BMS, it's kind of like a new product. And being able to see how a company has a new brand coming up and be part of it, that's amazing. And also, like, being able to learn at the same time, see how the different, because since it's a different product from Blue, it's just a new way and possibilities to learn even more about the different markets, the different type of services. So for me, like, Blue is like having a lot of pools, or like, I don't know how you will say it in English right now. Like in Spanish, we have a lot of pockets. I would say that is the translation. And there's like the possibilities in each pocket is huge. So the chances are we're just going to keep growing up and up. So.
And one very important thing is that we really like to give value to those who believe in us and are already in. So this is also something that we used to say a lot to the people, like, you're in, so you have more opportunities than anyone else. So take the opportunity and do the best you can, because it could be you there. So this is something that I think that for the next years will really trigger people, as it has been triggered me. So it's something that I want to go through as well, like sharing things with you guys and learn more from you as well.
That would be amazing. And also, like, I think that this moment for Blue and BMS is like the beginning of a completely new start. Because like before now, as we said before, we were quite separate. So everybody was doing their own thing. It was good. But now the possibilities that we are together are indefinite. And I think that everybody that is already in, as you say, it's having ahead of them maybe the opportunity of their life. Something that is going to really mark where their path in professional way is going to go.
Exactly. So I think that I have first do you have any other subject that you would like us to go through?
I think that I'm good.
Okay, she was nervous before we start. Important to mention, like, this is the first time we're doing it. And the reason why I asked that is because I think that we covered a lot of different subjects, right? We spoke about speaking to different countries, different cultures, the new moment of the company, you in a professional and personal perspective. So I think that we covered a lot of different things. And there is just one habit that I have in this podcast, which is ending by asking for the guest to give an advice that changed your life. So it could be a book you read, it could be a movie you watched, it could be an advice you got from a teacher, from your parents, or anything that changed your life and you think that's very important.
I think that an advice that I can give is to never take a no for like an assumption for yourself. Let me explain this. For a long time, I got told that I was not capable of doing things like studying. For a while, I got told that I will never be able to get a degree. I got told that by teachers. And that for a kid, it can be
traumatizing.
Yes, and also it can actually make you not choose to keep fighting for what you want.
Yes.
In my case, those no's, those negative feedbacks or comments that I was taking just made me push more for what I wanted. So if I didn't do that, I will have never get where I am right now. So I think that the best thing for everyone is it's always good to get feedback, and it's good that you go but analyze it. Don't take what someone tells you for, that is the completely truth. I cannot do it. I will not do it. No, don't never take a no. Always see what you can or what you cannot do. Maybe it's right. Maybe they tell you no and it's true. You try and it's not happening. But if you just give things away because somebody's telling you that you cannot do it, then you're never going to really see what is your potential. So I think that my advice will be to always follow what you want, even though people might tell you that it's not the right thing. Because as long as you do it with good heart and you do it like without disrespecting or hurting anyone, you're doing the right thing for yourself. And if you have to make a mistake, make it yourself. You will learn and you will get back. And then you try again. And if you make another mistake, you just will learn. You will never make twice the same mistake. But if you never make those mistakes, you will never learn. You will never figure out who you are. And it will be really sad when you are, 70, 80, and you look back and you're like, oh, I wish I tried and now it's too late. Or now I can't. That is a fear that I have, that is, I don't want to ever reach my old age and be looking back with regret.
That's amazing. Amazing. I couldn't say it better.
Thank you.
It's a very important quote because, as you said, when you're a kid and you get like negative comments, even coming from teachers, and let's say that they are your aspirations as a kid because they are feeding you with knowledge. So you think that they know everything. If they give you a bad advice or a bad comment, you will take that for life, and maybe you can just block someone of being a very amazing person at something specific. So that was a very good quote, though.
Thank you.
That's it then. I would like to appreciate your participation as our very special guest in the first edition of the Bluecast for 2025. And one very funny thing is that this is the first Bluecast in English. So
Oh, wow.
no one knew that it's going to be in English. And I think that we don't have the Bluecast for at least a month. So maybe there are people waiting for new episodes, and the new episode is going to be in English. So
Wow.
good, different,
Yeah.
which is 2025 vibes, getting bigger, growing, doing different things, and evolving, always evolving.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for having me here. Yes, I was a little bit nervous, but thank you for being such a good host.
Thank you.
I have felt really comfortable, and it has been a really nice conversation.
Amazing. Same for me. I like making people to feel comfortable, and I like to extract good things from them. And I have a gift for you.
Oh,
So you may take it back to Spain, and this is something that you will remind that you were here.
okay. Should I open it?
Up to you.
See? Chocolate is always a good thing.
Of course. You need to make life sweeter, right?
Oh, oh, wow. Thank you.
I mean, it's in Portuguese, but as you speak Spanish, I think the words are the same.
Let me see.
No, the words are not the same.
Special
Invitada especial.
guest. Special guest. Oh, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
I got a mic.
That's it. So, for you guys, thank you so much. If you have joined us since the end of the episode, I think that we learned a lot, and it was a very big pleasure to learn more from Anabel, which has come from Spain and shared a lot of knowledge, not only about her professional life, but also personal life, and some different insights about our market, about professionalism, about everything that we discussed. And I have like a quote, which is whatever we spoke here, if it helped you on learning a little bit more and be a little bit more aware of things, then we are satisfied and we are doing a good thing, helping people to grow, which is the main purpose of all that. So thank you again, Anabel. Thank you, Peter, which is the English version of Pedro. And that's it, guys. Thank you, and see you in the next episode.